Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Crypto Deal News. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than your typical news video. Today's video is going to be a little bit more personal. It's going to be more on, personal experience on how I actually lost everything in crypto about 4 years ago. We're going to go over like the actual real experience from it, from literally my heart, my mental space and everything, and how I got to overcome it. We're years later now a millionaire, all thanks to crypto and thanks to God. Let's just jump right into it. So 4 years ago, I was leverage trading, right? So it's different than your typical long-term investing where you're just buying XRP or Bitcoin on Coinbase or holding on a cold storage. No, this is leverage trading. It's futures trading where it's a lot more risky. With a leverage, what is a leverage? A leverage is like a multiplier on your return. So what I was trading on was a 50x multiplier, meaning that all Bitcoin had to do was go up or down 2%, and I could either be up 100% or down 100% where I'd lose everything, right? So I was in a short position where basically a short is where you're actually betting against the price of Bitcoin or any coin, but at that time I was trading the pair BTC USDT, which was Bitcoin. I was basically betting against the price of Bitcoin that it would go down, and Bitcoin went up 2%. I was on a 50x leverage and I lost everything, right? So let's rewind to how I first got introduced to crypto, how I had my first little run up and then lost everything, had to start over, and then obviously now where we are today, we were able to make it all back, plus times hundreds. But this is something that was like very personal to me. It made me really have to reflect on life. I had to completely change as a person, as just who I was, right? So rewinding where, I just graduated high school. I had a lot of ambitions to, make a lot of money and whatnot. This was the time when COVID just started. I was a broke college kid. I was 18 years old. I was doing sneakers at the time. I was reselling sneakers like Jordans and Yeezys and whatnot. And I started hosting events. I had an event business for sneakers. Then I hosted a boxing event, which was really cool. And then I wanted to really focus on that business. I thought that that was going to be I thought that that was it for me. I actually failed that business. The event, renting out the venues, promoting online for people to come to the event. It just wasn't, making enough to where I'd want to, be successful or, accomplish the goals that I really want to accomplish, right? So I ended up moving on from that and I got into crypto, right? Let's rewind a little bit, actually. I need to add more context to this, actually, how this gambling problem, I guess, started, how I lost everything, right? So I had my sneaker event business. I wasn't making a lot from the sneaker event business, so I started doing a lot of sports betting at the time, using money that I would make from my business to sports bet, right? And I obviously lost a lot of money doing that. And then I got into crypto because, crypto at the time was, super speculative, and Bitcoin was like the hottest topic. Bitcoin was on its run. So I purchased a little bit of Bitcoin. I actually traded a bunch of sneakers for Bitcoin, and I ran it up. I got it in around $50,000 per coin. And then it ran up to 69,000. That was the all-time high a couple of years back. And it came crushing down to 15,000, right? So that was my first intro to crypto. I ended up just, selling it, whatever. I was like, oh, crypto's a scam. Got rid of doing that, right? And I tried to focus on my event business at the time, but we lost all the money from crypto and sports betting, right? So fast forward, I get back into crypto with a, somewhat new mindset. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Instead of investing, I'm gonna do trading, right? I'm gonna make it as a day trader, right? And I signed up for courses, people would tell me. Now what I teach people is don't do what I did years ago. I have a VIP group of roughly 80 people right now, 80 clients, and the main focus in there is risk management based on this experience, right? So I'm sharing this experience with you guys to not make this mistake that I made years ago, right? Because it was a very emotional thing for me, right? And that's another big thing too, is that emotions cannot be involved in crypto or any form of investing, right? So essentially what happened was I started, day trading. I was doing all right with it, not with a lot of money. I was still broke at the time. I was 19, just about to turn 20 years old. I just had a girlfriend at the time, which is still my girlfriend to this day, almost 5 years later. She was with me from the start. I don't think she knew that I had no money. I think she was just with me for me. And then, years later now, we're a millionaire. Anyways, back to the point. We literally were trading with, a couple $100 on high leverage, making good money, and then making thousands of dollars and then getting liquidated, right? And doing it all over again and getting liquidated, right? What I got to the point with, I had $500 to my name. I was trading with $500, Bitcoin at the time ran from like $25,000 to $29,000, right? Which at the time was like, wow, Bitcoin is about to get back to 30K. Bitcoin breaks 30K, then it starts getting rejected a little bit. So I hopped into a Bitcoin short, right? So like I was saying before, if you don't know what a Bitcoin short is, you're basically betting against the value. You make money on the downside. You ever see the movie The Big Short, where Michael Burry betted against the housing market in 2008, the whole entire financial crisis years ago? He bet against the economy. In this case, I was betting against Bitcoin essentially, and Bitcoin came back down to like 25K. I turned $5,000. I turned $500 into $5,000. I was super, super excited. And then the next 2 weeks, I turned that $5,000 into $15,000, just doing super, super short-term trades on Bitcoin, right? And then I have 15K, all from $500 in the span of 2 weeks. I'm thinking to myself, I'm telling my parents, yo, I'm gonna buy a Tesla, I'm gonna buy a Maserati. Like, who did I think I was, right? Like 15K realistically is not a lot of money. I mean, at the time it was, because that was like the first time I really got introduced to that. And next thing you know, that very night that I was telling my parents I'm buying a Tesla, I lost it all. I was doing a Bitcoin short. I remember I was watching, my girlfriend was at the house at the time. I was on the call with my friend because he was also in the Bitcoin short. We were watching an NBA game, the Denver Nuggets, while I was sports betting as well. Just a whole, my mental space was just not there. I wasn't a true trader. I was, trading with emotion, trading, just breaking the rules of how you should be a trader, right? Just, not doing the proper risk management, not doing proper margin sizes, right? The proper technical analysis and whatnot. So that was mistakes that I made when I was a trader, and it cost me everything at the time, right? So that very night, I hopped into a Bitcoin short. Bitcoin started pumping. I was like, oh, we're gonna add more money to the trade. Bitcoin kept pumping. We added more money to the trade. Bitcoin kept pumping. Why was I adding more money? Because it would actually change my entry price. It was a dollar cost average on going the opposite way, right? So it moved my entry price up to try to get a better entry on its way down, right? So I kept on shorting. Next thing you know, I have my full 15K in the trade, and Bitcoin is just firing up, right? Like a nice slow rise. And Bitcoin is, I remember that trade I took it was like 9 p.m. I'm staring at the charts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have my whole entire account in here right now. I was like, it'll come back. It'll come back down, which it did start coming back down. It came back to my entry. I did not close it, and it just shot right up. Bitcoin went up 2%. I guess when I fell asleep, woke up, $0 in my account. I was crying. I was actually devastated. I'm asking God, why did you do this to me, God? Why me? Why me? I just worked hard for this, blah, blah, blah. And then that was the day I found God. Like, that was the day I truly found God, right? And years later, I go to church every single week and open my Bible all the time, and I share the Word of God on my platforms because He truly humbled me as a man. He turned me from a boy to a man that day. He made me lose absolutely everything. And I'm super, super grateful that happened 4 years ago. So that is where everything changed in my life. And just looking back on it, I'm super, super thankful for it. And being able to record this video now, where literally this car is worth 5 times more than the loss. I bought it all cash, BMW. You got 20K on my watch. I'm not flexing. It's just like a reflection. I'm not flexing, okay? I don't like to flex, but it's just a reflection on years later, where it felt like it was devastating, which at the time it was devastating, right? I lost everything, like I was depressed, like literally. But it was such a big wake-up call for me to really start, if I want to take this seriously with trading and investing and I want to make money, then I have to, get my shit together essentially, right? So that's exactly what I started doing, I started getting closer to God, trusting in God. That was number one. Started going to the gym more, telling myself if I'm going to go to the gym, I have to go to the gym, right? Cut out all distractions, and I kind of just locked in. Got to work. I had to work, right? So I didn't believe in, working at the time. I thought, I could just be a day trader. I was just, a dumb kid at the time. So I started working at Amazon. I was driving an Amazon truck, and I started looking into XRP at the time. I was looking into XLM, H-bar, kind of those guys, like those ISO compliant coins, I guess you could call them. And I started buying up some XRP. I was making like $600 a week at Amazon, which was like nothing, but I was putting all of that into XRP every single week. And I first got into XRP around like 40 cents. And then I started working at a law firm, and the law firm was good, pretty good pay, not bad. But now I quit the law firm to do crypto content full time, and it's completely changed my life. So the fact that I went from losing everything right? Like rock bottom, going to God, trusting in God, getting a job that I did not want to work, which was absolutely miserable. Working at Amazon was just, it sucked. It was terrible. $600 a week, where none of that was going to myself. It was going straight into XRP at the time. At the time it was at like 40 cents. Remember, it dropped to like 20 cents at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, down 50% on my Amazon money now. So that wasn't good. And then I switched over to the law firm. It was a little bit more pay, not the greatest pay, but you know, it was decent at the time. Just continuing to buy XRP. Then I started this page, Crypto Daily News, less than 2 years ago now. Started the TikTok, started the Instagram, videos started going viral, got brand deals, the whole nine, right? You know, Instagram now at like 156,000 followers, TikTok at like 99,000 followers, X, we just hit like 20,000 followers on X, you know, years later. And it's just opened up so many doors, so many opportunities, along with XRP going from 40 cents to $3.66 last year. I know XRP is at like 140 right now, but overall we're up a sizable amount on XRP. And thank God for XRP, because, you know, we're a crypto millionaire now. So at this time, right? So I think that the sky is the limit. There's still so many more levels that I want to get to. And I feel like I'm just like, you know, on the tip, right? I feel like there's so much more to come, and I'm super motivated. I want to have the biggest crypto, you know, news platform in the world. We just got this YouTube started, you know, where the YouTube is pretty small right now, but we're just getting started. Recording on a $2,500 camera that I just bought. This microphone is really good, you know, so we're trying to, you know, just lock in and really focus on the long term, right? Being able to humble myself and understanding that, you know, yeah, I made a lot of progress the past 4 years where I lost everything, got closer to God, got my stuff together. You know, I have an office now that I share with my brother. I have an app that I'm coming out with my brother called Bull Street. We actually just launched the Bull Street YouTube as well. Go check that out as well. We just did a whole podcast yesterday. But yeah, like we're getting everything together. We've gotten everything together, you know. We've, you know, financially stable now. I have, you know, stable coins, right? Literally stable, right? Along with investments in XRP, along with other investments that I have also made outside of crypto. And I want to get into real estate pretty soon. There's just, you know, everything is starting, you know, to get in motion now. And I'm super thankful, super blessed. And I can't wait to look back on this video 4 years from now to be like, damn, like we were up then, but look at the progress now. So I'm super excited to see that in 4 years. You know, 4 years from now would be the year 2030, and hopefully XRP would be at the prices that I believe it's going to be at by then. So this is kind of a video for anyone that's, you know, new to crypto or struggling in crypto or frustrated with the current prices, or, you know, maybe you've made the same mistake as me and you lost everything from crypto. It's just kind of how I handled it. Number one, I got close to God. That was, you know, a big thing for me at the time, was really just submitting to him. I kind of heard his voice. I heard his calling when I lost everything. Like I asked God, why me? Why me? And literally the day before, I posted something stupid on like my personal Instagram story saying like, oh, I'm one of God's favorites. Like something stupid, like basically like saying like, oh, because I was like so happy that I made all this, you know, money at the time. Stupid kid. I was like feeling like God's favor or something like that. And then he humbled me the next day, lost everything, right? So, because God doesn't pick favorites, you know, that was a big wake up call for me. And then got close to God, right? And then started, you know, really focusing on the gym, really focusing on the long term. I created the crypto news platform, and I wanted to just build, you know, a platform where I could provide crypto news, and then eventually one day be able to make a video exactly like this, how I lost everything and how I made it back to become a millionaire, you know? So the sky's the limit. This is just the start. I believe that, you know, the next time I record a video like this 4 years from now is like a part two of this, is me, you know, recording it from my yacht. And XRP is at a very high price, and we have millions and millions of followers and subscribers across all platforms. Right now, we have a little over 250,000 followers on all platforms, but I think that 4 years from now, we'll definitely be able to crack 1 million for sure. The goal is to get that this year or next year, so that's definitely the goal. But yeah, this is something where I think that a lot of people might be in this situation. A lot of people just don't have the resources or money or connections to be able to speak to people on this. But I'm very blessed and thankful for my platforms to be able to share this experience with you guys. And, you know, if anyone is watching this right now, like if you're watching this right now and you lost everything from crypto, like treat it like a blessing. I'm so serious. I know it sucks to lose everything, right? But it was the greatest lesson I could have ever learned, right? Because you understand why you lost everything. And then when you finally find that answer, you realize you were your own worst enemy. You know, that's it. You were your own worst enemy. There's no one else to blame. I can't blame Bitcoin. I can't blame the exchange. I can't blame the person that told me to short Bitcoin. No, that was my decision. I decided to short Bitcoin. I was a grown man, 19 years old. I made that decision to short Bitcoin at the time, and I lost everything. It was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because I learned how to lose. And I learned how to come back from a loss 100x later. That's it, that's really it. It just makes me like a little emotional, but like at the same time, just super happy, super thankful. It makes me emotional to look back on it because I thought that there was no hope. But after I put my hope in God, the rest was history. And this is just the start though. I feel like, I'm still getting, I'm still getting there, right? I feel like I'm still in that phase of my life where it's like, oh, there's so much to look up to. I even just bought like a beautiful car for myself, all cash, no lease, no rent, no lease or whatever, finance, whatever, all cash, right? Everything that's kind of just lining up for myself, and I'm super, super excited, super blessed for the future, and that's it, guys. So we're gonna wrap up this video. Tomorrow's video is just gonna be back to like the regular news for you guys, but I did want to make this video just to kind of reflect on the past, and I feel like sometimes it's good to do that, to be able to kind of look back and see all the progress you made. And this video is not to flex or anything, it's just how I kind of overcame it for anyone that might be watching this that has lost everything from crypto. And hopefully this video is helpful for someone that's out there right now kind of struggling mentally from losing everything from crypto, because I'm telling you, it was very frustrating, it was depressing, it was sad, but you're gonna make it. If you stay locked in, you're gonna make it. Just have to make your priorities straight. The priority should be focusing on the long term, knowing the difference between investing and trading. Trading is a lot more risky, such as leverage trading, even meme coins, that's trading right there. That's not investing, that's trading, that's risky, right? Same thing with leverage trading. You trade on a high leverage, that's risky, right? So when I trade now, I trade with a low leverage. When I invest, I'm focused on XRP. I know that it's probably smart to invest in different routes. That's why I also invest in things outside of crypto as well. But for crypto, I believe in XRP. I'm an XRP maxi. I've done the research. I believe in it, right? But that's that. Understand the difference between investing, that's long term for XRP, and then trading is short term. So I hope this video helps, and guys, I'll see you guys in the next video, which is just going to be crypto news and my opinions on breakdowns and whatnot. So guys, make sure to hit that the subscribe button, like, and also follow on socials. Crypto Dill News on X, IG, and TikTok. It's just Crypto Dill News. Beware of a lot of fake accounts. There's a lot of people impersonating me, offering like weird asset under management services. That's not me. Those are fake accounts impersonating me. So just make sure that you don't fall for any of those tricks or anything. I'll never randomly message you for some service, okay? So I'll see you guys in the next video, and God bless you all.